This is Local 8 News.
Car trouble turning even more dangerous on Middlebrook Pike this morning. Also, it's been a record-breaking year for the nation's most popular park. Thanks for joining us for Local 8 News at noon. I'm Erin Barnett. Of course, we've been talking about the nicer, comfortable temperatures, but along with that has come the wind, and using a little extra hairspray today, maybe throwing on a hat would be a good idea.
Just don't blow away, Erin.
Yeah, make sure you stay there.
Yeah, stay there. Yeah, I mean, we are dealing with some of these stronger winds, especially in the higher elevations. Right. So if you're heading to like the Smokies, you want to be careful of that. But we are also dealing with the warmer temperatures,
which we love.
We've been
yes,
like so excited about, and we're gonna be keeping these warmer temperatures throughout the week.
Great.
So here's what I want you guys to know going into today. Yes, warmer temperatures, but these winds are also playing a big factor in our day. We had a wind advisory earlier. For right now, though, we're just looking at some of these stronger gusts. So we were seeing some of those spotty showers a little bit earlier. Now we're just looking at mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures, as I mentioned, are warmer. We're sitting in the mid 60s in most of our area, already at 65 degrees in Knoxville. But here's what I want you guys to know. I'm giving us the yellow light on our driving this afternoon because it is so windy, especially in those higher elevations. You may see some trees down, some power lines down, though the temperatures are going to be comfortable. And we're also going to see some of that spotty rain popping and coming into play as we get into the afternoon, especially across the plateau. Here's what gusts are looking like right now. 25 miles per hour in Knoxville, 17 in Oak Ridge, even Crossville seeing 25 miles per hour. So please just make sure wherever you're driving, be careful. Some areas are just looking a little extra breezy. Those winds are a little bit stronger than that. And Erin, you mentioned throwing the extra hairspray in there. In addition to the breezing conditions, it's also a little bit more humid out there. You kind of feel it when you're out there, so you do want to throw in that extra hold. But we're going to be talking about how warm today is going to get and also how long that's going to stick with us and what we're going to be seeing in terms of rain right here in a few minutes.
I'm also wondering if my husband put our garbage can back up.
Good point.
Yeah, it could blow over today. Thank you, Danny. All right, some car trouble this morning turned into quite a dangerous situation for some drivers. Knoxville police tell us that a driver had stopped to check on a stalled Jeep and ended up in the hospital with serious head injuries. Investigators say the pickup truck was hit after the driver had stopped just before dawn this morning. Again, that happened on Middlebrook Pike. We now know the cause of the school bus fire in Alcoa on Monday. Investigators say the brakes sparked that fire in the fender well of the bus. All 29 students, including the driver, escaped the bus safely before it was destroyed. Well, the community has reached its goal of raising $25,000 to honor Emma Walker. She's the high school cheerleader who was murdered this past December. Emma's memorial is planned for Children's Hospital, and the suites there allow parents to stay in the room with their premature babies overnight. Emma's dream was to become a nurse in the NICU. Authorities say that William Riley Gall is charged with her murder. Lenoir City is celebrating its new City Hall building today, and they cut the ribbon this morning. It was also a dedication ceremony of the Evelyn Vaughn Municipal Court and also their council chambers. Well, a new law in the works for Tennessee could make it easier to buy gun silencers or suppressors in Tennessee. The argument for this is hearing protection for gun users such as hunters. Currently, a hefty tax on these devices makes them less widely used.
All you do is the same paperwork on a suppressor as you would a firearm. You do a 4473 Brady background check to make sure that you don't have a criminal record, you're not a prohibited person, just as if you were buying a handgun or firearm.
And those who oppose the bill, they fear silencers or suppressors will end up in the wrong hands. Well, the nation's most visited national park has hit a record number of park visitors for 2016. We're certainly proud to give you this news. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park welcomed in 11 million visitors last year alone. That's a 5.5% increase, in fact, over the previous year. Well, Nashville International Airport also seeing some records this year. Nearly 13 million passengers last year. In fact, that's a 1.3 million more travelers than previous years. It's been a pattern of growth for the airport for several years now in a row. Busy preschoolers on the go with their bikes, their trikes, and scooters inspired a teacher over at Oak Ridge Preschool to make sure each of them has a helmet. She just happened to be the wife of a city police chief and got him involved to find a safety partnership. East Tennessee Children's Hospital and Coles Care Program helping out with this. Police officers and state troopers helped fit the little ones this morning with colorful helmets. Both the chief and the hospital say it is critical to protect kids' heads and prevent traumatic brain injury.
It really comes down to my wife Jana bringing this to my attention and me just giving it to the right people at the right time. I think she deserves a lot of credit, and so does Alexis and her staff at Children's Hospital.
The younger they are, if we can get them in the habit of wearing their helmets, the better off we are when they're older.
And at the end of the year, they'll get to take home their helmets with them. Very cool. A story that's been getting a big emotional reaction from a lot of people. A new market hunter is being fined $10,000 for illegally killing a big buck. That may sound like a lot, but the state can take away much more than the hunter's money. Local 8 News reporter Kelsey Lair explains.
A lot of hunters will lose their mind over these animals. They are that, I won't say obsessed over what they do, but they're that passionate about these animals, and that makes them make bad decisions sometimes.
And the decision to illegally kill a trophy animal can be a costly one. The Newmarket man who illegally shot and killed this 11-point buck is facing nearly $10,000 worth of penalties. These hefty fines come as a result of new legislation that's designed to discourage illegally killing big game.
It's no secret that trophy animals are prized by hunters, so there's a high value placed on the bigger that a deer's antlers are.
And with high value comes high risk. TWRA says the old lower fines wouldn't necessarily deter hunters from taking an illegal shot.
And maybe looking at a $500 penalty there for killing a nice quality trophy-sized deer, and a lot of hunters are willing to take that chance in order to get those things.
Now, fines can reach into the tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the deer. And that's not it. Hunting privileges can be suspended and equipment can be seized.
If you were hunting from a tree stand, the tree stand can be taken. GPS units, anything that he used to help perpetuate that crime could be seized by the officer and declared contraband by a judge.
From your gun all the way to the car you transported the deer in, proving in this case, even in the thrill of the hunt, the prize isn't worth the price.
And it's unfortunate for him, but hopefully that these penalties will send a message to other hunters and keep similar situations from happening.
In Morristown, Kelsey Lair, Local 8 News.
TWRA will use that restitution money for its wildlife programs. The fines are ultimately handed down by a judge. Well, Congress has begun the process of getting rid of President Barack Obama's signature health care law, the Affordable Care Act. President-elect Donald Trump expressing his eagerness to replace the law. Overnight, Senate passed a budget measure that lays a path for repealing the health care law as early as next month. The House plans to vote on this tomorrow, but even Republicans are concerned about getting rid of health care coverage for many otherwise uninsured Americans without having a replacement program ready to go. Retired neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson is up for heading the House and Urban Development. He's in one of at least 3 confirmation hearings today in Washington. All new picks for cabinet spots by President-elect Donald Trump. Still ahead at noon, what's happening in Washington as we make that transition to a Trump presidency.